Hi everyone, my name is Braulio and welcome to my channel. Today is a little different. It's a different format because I'll be doing like a tutorial type of video. And so I'm really excited to get started. Thank you for joining. Today we're going to be talking about budgeting. Last week I did a video on how much money I spent to become an agent. And so today I wanted to like keep the personal finance theme going on. And so that's why we're doing this today. And so I'm super excited because today I'm going to show you not only like why is budgeting important and why you should do it, but also I'm going to share with you a tool that I personally use and still use to today to make my budgeting easier and to track my spending and to track my money, how much money is coming in and then I have coming out or going out. So yeah, let's get started. Let's see. So we're going to make this small like so. There we go. So I guess before we get started, we should talk about we'll bring this back up because we're gonna talk about like budgeting first. Why is budgeting important, you'd say? And if we're talking about real estate, because this is a real estate channel, we'll tie back to real estate. That is really the backbone of you being able to buy a house, right? Because if you don't know your own finances, how do you expect to save enough to put a down payment for a house? 3%, 5%, 10%. You have to be able to figure out where you want to go and how much you want to get in order to get your home. So I've been talking to a lot of potential buyers recently, and a lot of them have been telling me, oh, brother, you know what? I'm interested in home buying and I'm saving, I'm like making progress and paying off my loans, this and that. But then when I ask them, oh, like how much money do you have saved? They're like, they don't really know. They don't give me an exact number. And I asked them, oh, do you have any loans that you're paying off? And they're like, yeah, I'm paying off my student loan, my credit card, my car, whatever. And so I asked them, how much is that? And a lot of them go, well, I'm not sure. I don't have the exact number yet, but my monthly payments are roughly this much. So I'm like, okay. So from what I've been hearing, and even from my own friends, like a lot of them have a working knowledge of what a budget is, but a lot of them don't keep a budget consistently. So I'm like, we have to bring it back to basics, I feel. And that's why I wanted to start with budgeting today, because this is going to be really the start from getting to point zero or point A to being able to buy a house. So in order to get here, we are going to use the budget and this Excel tool that I'll show you in a minute to like bridge these two together. So with that in mind, then just like some basics about budgeting. What's a budget? Well, it's just really a tool to know how much money you have going in and then how much money is going out of your pocket or your bank account. So that's really what a budget is. It's important to real estate because then it can help us buy a house or save up to buy a house, or it can save us to pay off debt. A lot of people use it for accountability purposes. So if you have a strict budget every month, then you know exactly how much money is going out of your bank account every week. So you can use it for tracking purposes, and you don't have to like be super strict with your budget all the time. But it's really good for you to be able to say, oh, on average, I spend 200 a month on groceries, or I spend 120 in gas. So things like that, because I realized that I've been budgeting now for like about 2 years consistently, and I've realized that in the beginning I would tell you I would have been able to tell you to the cent how much money I was spending, and now that I've been doing this for about 2 years, then I don't necessarily need to budget every single transaction every time and still keep within budget, because I've been doing it for so long that my habits and my spending habits have become sort of habitual. And so I don't need to really track every cent as I did in the beginning. But anyway, with that in mind, we'll get started. I'm going to put on my glasses because I can't see too well. Oh, much better. Okay, so we'll make this small. It's my first time using this app, and so I'm really excited to like give it a try. Okay, so we're gonna move this little head over here, and this is what I wanted to show you guys. The link to this spreadsheet is gonna be down in the description. So you can just click on it and you'll be able to download a copy of this Excel. It's a Google Sheet what we're using right now. So you'll be able to download it as a copy into your own Google Drive, and then you'll be able to make those changes and your budget in here. And so what we have in front of us right now, it's a spreadsheet with a simple budget. This is really the backbone of a budget. It's just, as you can see here, the income, how much money you have going in, and then the expenses, how much money you have going out, and then this is just the net. So the difference between the two at the end of the month. In essence, this is all a budget is. It's a way for you to know how much money you have and where your money is going. Now, if we click on monthly simple, this tab right here at the bottom, we're going to see more of a complex Excel, if you will. And so this is more detailed. So if the simple one was just the backbone and very like easy to see items, this second tab is a little bit more detailed, because not only do we have our source, but we have added here in column B a column called expected. So how much money you expect to have at the beginning of a month, and how much money you expect to spend on different items. So that's one of the main difference between these two. The other difference is that here we have broken down expenses in two categories. We have fixed expenses and then we have variable expenses. Fixed expenses are what I call things that don't change month to month. Things like ideally your emergency fund, how much money you put away for retirement, rent, insurance, Wi-Fi, phone bills, things like that. And then under variable expenses, these are things where you have a little bit more flexibility with, things that you can have a little bit more control over, such as your groceries, how much you spend when you eat out, your utilities, entertainment, transportation, gifts, etc. And then we have a column for expected, as I explained earlier, and then we have a column for actual. So if you like this one, you can, at the beginning of each month, you can write here the expected amount that you would like or you want to spend for that month. And then as the month progresses, then you can add in here on in the actual column how much money you've actually spent. And then as you punch in the numbers, so say we're gonna have $1,000 for a source of income number one, you see that the column D, total expected, changed to 1,000 as well. So I've set up this spreadsheet for you guys just to be able to play or punch numbers into these two columns, and then everything else will fill in automatically by the formulas. And when we punch it 110 here in the actual, then all these three columns update and we get a difference of $100, saying we have $100 more in our pocket. Let's say the opposite scenario were to happen where we make less money than we expected. Instead of 1,000, say we make $800, then we'll see that automatically that puts us in the red because we have less money than we expected. So again, all the formulas and everything, all the formatting, it's ready for you guys. Of course, when you download this sheet, just feel free to update it. Feel free to edit it as you wish, change the colors or whatever you wish to do to it. This is yours after all. And then on the right, this is a really handy calculator that I created where you can punch in. So once you get your W-2 or your paycheck, not your W-2, your paycheck, you'll be able to punch in, say, what you made that month. Say you made $2,500 that month, and then it will on your paycheck, it will say right there, oh, for federal, I spend, or they deducted me, I don't know, $100. And then the percentage will update here. Because a lot of the times, or not a lot of the times, in my case, my paycheck didn't say the percentage that that each amount represented when compared to my gross income, and so that's why I created this number so that I could just add them all up. So say it's 100 for everything, which is of course not the case. But you see how at the bottom on your total taxes, it will add everything up all your taxes, and then it will tell you how percentage of your pay of your gross income you're spending on taxes. And then it will tell you how much money you're taking home every month. And so with this number, is this because this is the actual money that you're bringing home every month, right? So this is the number that I would use for my budgeting purposes, because even though the gross income is bigger, it's not necessarily what I take home every month. What else do we have here? And then after everything is filled in, you will get a total expected expenses, total actual expenses, and then it will just calculate the nets for you automatically. So it is very handy. I hope you guys like it and hope you use it, because it took me some time to figure out which method worked for me. And so this is what I ended up keeping. And then here, this is optional, but you can put up here the day that you updated your spreadsheet. So when I was very rigorous about my spending, I would check my bank accounts every week. And on Sunday, usually I will sit down with my bank accounts and I would say, okay, this is how much money I spent, and then I'll update the worksheet with every line of my bank statements. And then I will put the day where I updated it so I remember. So next week when I come back, then I knew exactly where I left off. So this is another format for you guys to look into if you guys want a little bit more detail and more insight into your money. And then here's just a couple of different formats. So you have 5 different templates that you can use. This template right here is similar to the other one, but the difference is that here we're breaking it up by week and we don't have the expected column. So if you need to be very rigorous about your spending because say you're really tight on money this month and you need something to help you track it, then you can use this one because this has a column for every week. So for week 1, 2, 3, 4, you will just put the dates here, or you can put week 1 or whatever you want, and then you can update it like that. And again, all the numbers will update automatically. Then weekly detail 2, it's kind of like the last two combined. You have it broken down by week, and then you have both an expected and an actual columns for you to fill in. And then it will show you here exactly where everything is. And then weekly detail 3, it's the same format as before, just different colors. Because this one right here has a different color for each row. So this row is green, this row is white. But this one, it's just all one color. So it's just formatting differences. So with all that in mind, I hope you find this helpful. I hope you like it. And what we're going to do right now, I'm actually going to do an example of we're going to budget for a month, and I'm actually using almost almost the exact same numbers that I used back in 2018 when I was working as an intern right after I finished college. So we're going to use let's use the monthly simple since we're already here, and we're going to fill it up so that you guys can get a feel for how the template actually works. So we're going to fill, let's see, both columns. So for expected, we're going to say I'm expecting $2,500 for the month from my internship. And then for source 2, we don't have any other source of income at this moment, so we're just going to put 0. So you see right here that this column updated our total expected and total actual. Since this is just for demonstration purposes, we're going to fill out the actual concurrently. So you see here the differences are 0, so that is good. That means the formulas are working. For the emergency fund, let's say we're going to put 300. And actually, before we move forward, I should probably just talk a little bit about what an emergency fund is, because I know everybody doesn't know what it is. In essence, the emergency fund is what its name says it is. It's a pool of money that you have saved up somewhere that is easily accessible for when something unexpected happens and you need to cover, say, a medical bill or a flat tire, or you need to do an impromptu trip to see a family member. And so it's generally between 3 to 6 months of living expenses to be safe. And so at that time, I didn't have any emergency fund. And so I started building it back there. And I wanted to be aggressive with it because I wanted to build it as fast as I could. So I was putting $300 away. Then for retirement, say $100, $200 more. My rent was $850. And then we're going to do this one as well. $850. Insurance, car insurance, and renter's insurance. I believe I was getting medical from, I think I was in my parents' plan, so I wasn't paying anything on that. And then Wi-Fi, we'll say 50 and 50. Phone, 50 and 50. I didn't have any loans at the time, so we'll say 0. Memberships, 30. Netflix, gym, things like that. Others, 0. Okay, so those will be my fixed expenses. So far we know that we have $2,500 coming in, and we have 1,700 going out. And we have how much left? Right here, $800 left. So we have to make it work. So for groceries, I would spend 250, eating out 100, utilities 100, 250, 100, 100, entertainment 150, transportation 100, things like gas. A gift, I like to put some money away for a gift every month because you never know when someone's birthday is, or if there's a birthday you don't remember, you always have some money there. But also I like saving early for Christmas, so that's why I like putting the money away every month for Christmas, because I'm big on presents for Christmas. So I'll do that. And then charity, we'll say, I don't know, $20. Clothing, I don't know, 20 maybe. So there you go. So that brings us exactly to 2,500. But let's say that this month I spend more on groceries because I was cooking more at home. So say 300. There we go. So you see now the net says that we are off for $50. But one thing I need to fix here, which we're going to fix right now, it's the formula. I try to set up the conditional formatting so that it would change to red. So I'll show you how. So I'll show you guys how to do that. So for this one, since we spent more than we expected, this column should be, which is the difference. Let's fix that. This column should have turned red. So let's fix that right now. In case you have any trouble in the future, you know how to fix it. You're gonna select your columns or your rows, your cells. Then you're going to click on, let's see, this is data, I believe, data validation, no, format. Here, from conditional formatting. So if it is less than 0, okay, that is correct. So our formula is incorrect. Let's see. So this should be if, there it is. We're gonna copy that over. Oops. Copy this. There we go. Right click. Copy. Select our cells. There it is. And we're going to do paste formula only. Okay, there we go. That works now. So if we want that to turn red, we can do the same thing. Right click on it. We're going to go to format. conditional formatting. If it's less than 0, then we want it red. Perfect. So there you go. That's it. So this is an example of how we can do a budget. It's very simple, as you guys can see. Everything is set up for you. I'm gonna do a last check before I make this link live, so that there's no errors and everything checks out as it should. So you don't have to do any of the setup. But in case you do, then I just show you how to do that. So I hope you guys like this video. Budgeting, again, is the most important thing that you can do for your money, because it will help you keep yourself accountable. It will help you keep yourself on track, because you will know exactly how much money you have coming in and then how much money is going out. A few other things I would like to share are to, like, in order for you to successfully track your expenses every month, I recommend either tracking your expenses every day. So as soon as you swipe your card somewhere, then you have this spreadsheet on your phone, so you can quickly update your spreadsheet. Um, if not, if that's too much for you, then on the weekends, but once a week, religiously, you sit down with your bank statements and with the spreadsheet, and then you update it until it becomes a habit. And then you'll see that slowly, you're going to adjust your spending habits in a way that you won't even need to do this as religiously anymore, because you will roughly know how much money you're spending. And so I remember I started with the weekly detail spreadsheet. This was like one of my first ones, because, as I said, I really needed to, like, figure out where money was going, every little cent. And then what I'm using now, it's the monthly simple, because I already know my spending habits. And what I do is just I update this every month. Not every month, every week. I still try to update it every week. And so what I do is I do equal 100. So I leave the formula open. And then when I just have to add things, I just do plus whatever the amount I want to add, say 100. And then we add it like that. And then so the next week, I'll go back to that cell, click on it, plus whatever amount, $10, and then add it like that. All right. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you found it helpful. Please leave me comments down below saying if you're using it, or what are your favorite budgeting techniques. If you use an Excel spreadsheet, I know there's also apps out there that you can use. I know there's one that I think I set it up, but I don't use it too often. It's called Mint. That one's really good, but I'm old school, so I like my spreadsheets, because I feel like it gives me more flexibility. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.